Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back. I am James and you are watching Blue Dog Aquatics. I apologize this video didn't get out yesterday, but I just ran out of time. I'm sure you guys all know how that goes. Also, thank you to all the new subscribers. You guys are absolutely beautiful. If you are new to this channel, first time tuning in, we bring you new videos each and every week. If that's something that interests you, then please consider subscribing. Hit that like button and that notification to stay up to date with all the new videos. With that being said, let's jump into it. So you may be asking why we're looking at my black water tank, and more specifically, why we're looking at the top of the black water tank. Now, as you've seen from the title of this video, sometimes stagnant water can happen in tanks, and it's trying to figure out why it's happening that the issue is. Now, I will show you a tank over here that has this issue. So what I'm talking about, you see this oily color film that is on top. Now a lot of people have this issue and they can't figure out why. Now obviously we have the sponge filter back there, but because of the top floating plants, they're blocking the flow to all the water. So if we were to open this up and the flow were to get over here, then that would dissipate, as you can clearly see it doing currently. Now, why then did I start with the black water tank? That's because a lot of these skinny long tanks have this issue. Now, whether this is a 12-gallon rimless bookshelf tank or whether it's a 20 long, they all have the issue of having stagnant water. Now, different ways to combat it. Now, when I first set this up, I had the filter in the middle. But I was noticing that I was getting stagnant water here and here. So what I tried doing is I tried moving the filter to the side. Now that worked up until about here, but then we would still end up with stagnant water over here. This is a common issue, even though there's absolutely nothing on the top. There's no floating plants to disrupt it, nothing like that. It's an issue with these long tanks because there's not enough flow to disrupt the water movement on the top. Now there's a couple ways you can combat this. You could either put a power head down low. Now that power head looks kind of weird in such a small tank, but you can do it, where a power head would push and then you would have another power head over here pushing the water back that way. That way it's disrupting the water movement on the top. Another thing you can also do is you can also put a power head on one side pushing up at the top of the water to break it up. Now that's fine and dandy, but not really practical when you have small nano tanks. Now if you have a big tank, yeah, absolutely, power heads can be hidden behind. If you have a planet tank or a saltwater tank, it can either be hidden around with rock, or with planet tanks it can be hid around with plants. Now this filter alone does not have enough movement to push the whole length. Now something that I found out and something that I really like is the surface skimmer. Now what the surface skimmer does is it actually sucks in the water from the top. So if there's any floating debris or anything like that, it gets caught down in the filter, and then there's actually a jet on the bottom that actually pushes the water back out. So as you can see, and you can see with bubbles right there as it's just sucking it in. Couldn't get more of a perfect example there. The water can't get stagnant because it's pulling it in and then pushing it back the other way. This is the easiest solution that I found to breaking up the disruption so you don't get that film on top of your tank. Now, like I said, you could do the other ways where you have either a stronger filter. If it's a bigger tank, you could use a canister. But then you also have issues like this. So you can see all this film over here. This is our 40 breeder. Now the intake is over there. The return is over here. You can see that we have it pushing up at the top of the water, which is fine. But when you have all these top floating plants, it breaks up the flow of the water. Now, you can clearly see So you see how there's film there? The second I move those plants, it disrupts, it moves. All it needs is to go over to the filter and it's good. And I know we love, and like you can see over there, there's less plants over there and the flow is moving, so there's no top skimming issues. We love top floating plants. They're absolutely awesome. Absolutely. These are red root floaters. One of my favorites. So if you are going to have top floating plants, then you need to think about something that's going to be underneath. Something that can create flow and turbulence up at the top of the water to break up this filminess. Now, is this filminess hurting anything? No, it's not. It just looks kind of tacky and it bugs me because my OCD gets the better of me. But I like the red root floaters. Like I said, ways that you can counter this, you could put a power head down here that's pointed up to break up this half of the tank. That way this side is getting hit by the return from the filter, but then this side is getting hit from the power head. Something else you could do would be a surface skimmer. However, when you have top floating plants, as you saw from the bubbles on this one, it's going to suck all your plants into your surface skimmer, which is going to plug it, which is going to defeat the purpose of the surface skimmer. So it's kind of the lesser of two evils. Do we want top floating plants? Do we want things, and this doesn't just pertain to top floating plants. If you have freshwater plants that come all the way to the top of the tank, that can block the flow also. So, which way do we want it? Do we want a clean looking tank like this where there's nothing up top and the flow is moving and we don't have that stagnant? Or do we want to add a power head to disrupt the flow, and that way we could still have top floating plants? And I apologize, there's absolutely no fish in this. All we have are the Japanese trapdoor snails, which are really, really awesome. So we have a couple of options on how to take care of the film that's on top of the water. I hope this, guys, I hope it helped you out. I know we do get this request a lot from our subscribers on how to take care of this kind of issue. It's pretty cut and dry. Either up the filter, get a surface skimmer, or get a power head. Those are the three easiest issues to addressing that. So with that being said, I really appreciate you guys staying till the end and tuning in. If you guys have any videos that you'd like to see, please let me know down in the comments. I would love to do them for you. Whether it's fish husbandry or drip acclimation or whatever you guys want, I would love to do that for you. Also, like I said, we bring you new videos each and every week. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. It's the end of the day and my mouth just is not talking for me. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next week.